to turn our boards. You know, when we're on highway or anywhere groomed, it's easy to want to turn wherever you want. So now we're just going to kind of think of it a little bit differently and start planning where we start changing our edge and where we start turning. To do this down here, we're going to have a really simple challenge. You're only allowed to change edge and start turning when you're on top of a bump. So you've got to stay on one edge and kind of get stuck going across the hill, try and look for a bump, and as you get on top of it, that's when you're going to turn. Other than that, you're not allowed to turn. So when you finish your turn, you've got to try and look for the next bump to turn on top of. Make sense?
Yeah.
So as we come up to that bump, I'm just going to allow that bump to move my board up closer to my body. And kind of as it gets to its highest point, I'm just going to think about changing edge on that front foot. Kind of that little pedaling idea. I wouldn't really use this in a level 2 teach, but for you guys, think about that front foot and getting that edge on the front foot engaged so you can start pushing down the backside of the bump. Give it a go. Only changing edge and turning on top of a bump.
We're going this way. Oh my god, that's disgusting. Yeah.
Rather than watching the snowboard coming down there, I was kind of watching your heads, and it was kind of cool because I kind of saw a little bit of some heads kind of looking around for a bump, which is really nice to see. So there's this idea of kind of planning and looking for where we want to go, right? So if we've had a little go just going down there, changing edge on top of the bump. Now we're not allowed to change edge on top of the bump. We've got to find a flat spot to be able to change our edge and start a turn. So we're going to try and ride over bumps and try and turn in between bumps where there are no bumps and it's nice and smooth. Complete opposite of what we just done, basically. Sound good?
Yeah.
Give that a go. Just down to where I go to. Avoid the bumps. That's a good teach as well, using the bump to generate speed and slow down.
Like a pushing motion.
If you push down the back side of it, you get more speed. If you kind of push up the front side of it, you slow down. It's kind of like legs on a swing. You can generate momentum, or if you do the opposite movement, you lose momentum.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Everyone was doing that pretty well, I reckon. What do you think's easier, finding the flats or finding the bumps to turn on top of?
Being able to choose your own.
Pretty much. What's that, sorry?
The flat is a bit easier.
Flat's easier for yourself?
Yeah, but much better.
Nice. Anyone find one edge easier on one and then one edge easier on the other, maybe? Yeah? Okay.
I need more bumps to the side.
What's that, sorry?
I need more bumps to the side.
More bumps to the side. We didn't get too much mileage there, eh? So we got some pretty big bumps down here. Don't force yourself to do one or the other. Use one or the other. But try and pick a really strong place to be able to turn on top of a bump. But also try and find a good place to turn in the flats between the bumps as well. Try not to turn in those places that feel very awkward. Try and pick the perfect spot to start your next turn.
Go, sweetie.
Purple.
Oh yeah.
Goggles. The goggles are the same.
I would love to look as cool as she does, so I'll take that as quite a compliment.
Those pants are pretty dope, to be fair.
Yeah, they are, and it's a pink gloves for me.
Yeah.
She just looks so like,
She's so relaxed.
like, ooh.
She's like, oh, they were dad.
Yeah.
Just look back then, let's keep going, keep going. Nailing it though. Yeah, down through this steep section, see if you can plan your route.
Don't hit the child. Oh, I'm dug in quite deep. Yeah.
I always find the worst case scenario in bumps is when you turn and you find yourself sliding over a bump.
Yeah, then you get unseated.
That's it, right? Okay.
I just struggle to initiate the toe side.
Yeah.
But that's because I think I do so much pushing, I'm doing like little turns on my heel.
Yeah.
And then if I'm open to try and then close.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird because momentum doesn't feel like our friend in the bumps, but it is to start the next turn, right?
Yeah.
But it's finding a sweet spot of speed.
But yesterday helped, just, well, in uncertain words, you basically said just fuck it and go faster, but...
In a way, sometimes that is the deal though, right?
So I used to go so slowly over before, and it just was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. And that redirecting back across. See that there, you see the shadow there, right? Just on a little bit of a slide down the hill. It's all about that redirection.
That was good. No, I only watched the last two turns, but yeah.
Yeah.
The other 17 before were bollocks.
This idea of kind of turning around the bumps, in between the bumps and everything else, the reason this is quite handy is if I turn on top of a bump, normally I've got a little bit of a trough and then the uphill of a bump on the backside to catch myself on to help myself move back across the hill. So that's the benefit of turning over the top side, is you can normally find a little bit of a platform against the bump below you. The nice thing about turning in a flat spot in between is then it normally projects us around a bump and allows us to start moving across the hill in the other way. And these are the most useful ways of turning in the bumps, because if we ever turn and we find ourselves stuck in a slide, which happens when we get a little bit too much downhill momentum, then we start tackling the bumps in more of a side slip. And you know, I think I've said it a few times before, if I stand up, if you push me on the chest, I'm going to fall backward. It's very hard to balance that way on a snowboard, whereas it's very easy to balance fore and aft. You've got the leg independency thing going on, right? So I can absorb stuff and deal with stuff moving in that direction or that direction. But moving in that direction, I've got no choice to move both feet at the same time, and it becomes a lot less stable. So just thinking about picking where to change the edge, and always as you're coming round looking for that next turning point, the next point you can start engaging that next edge. That's the key to being successful here. Like the other day, those of you that were with me in the afternoon over in Black Forest, maybe when you watch me coming down, every time I used something, I was looking at where that was going to redirect me and what feature I was going to travel to next for my next turn. So it's kind of like playing chess or thinking one move ahead. So on the way down here, we've got this other little kicker again, and there's a few more bumps. Not only are you going to pick where to turn, in case of round the bump or over the bump, you're also going to look in the direction that that turn is going to take you, and then try and already pre-plan where your next turn is. Think one turn ahead of the turn in front of you. Does that make sense? Yeah. Sick. Let's give that a little go.
Oh, it just looks so cool, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, I watched you do it and went, oh, I could do that, I reckon. And then as I went over, I went, no, you can't.
Kind of crazy. I wouldn't say it's an overly technical thing, but it's just such a confidence and commitment trick, eh?
It's just that if I do it once, I've done it on the ground now.
Yeah.
But if I can do it off a jump, it just unlocks. It's not the nicest of landings.
It's not, we're straight into a mogul field, aren't we?
Yeah. Go on, Chris.
Body's nearly tired, eh?
Yeah.
I'd be so happy if he does a 180.
Nice. There's kind of a little idea of a quick little skill development session, and I'd say that's more towards kind of coordination, right? Coordinating movements and planning our route down the hill. Another little idea you can take into introduce this to off-piste. So actually, you know, you want to focus on one thing when you're on the level 2. It's only 20 minutes, but in a 2-hour session, if I get someone in the real world and they're like, I want to learn off-piste, I'll talk about this so that we can move across the hill. And then I'd go straight into what we just did, like picking where you turn. It's not a case of you can turn where you want anymore. There's better places and there's not so fun places to turn. So let's try and shop for those better places at this level.